I use AI for my realism. I think it's the coolest thing to come into tattooing for realism.
Artists no longer need to use reference photos that are taken from someone else's, intellectual property.
It blows my mind.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to No More Ink, the official after show for Ink Master Hometown Heroes that also dives deeper into the world of tattoos. I'm your host, Ryan Ashley, and joining me today is a 3-time Ink Master champion, a current judge, and one of my favorite people in the entire world, none other than DJ Tambe.
What's going on?
What up, dude?
Not much. Same old thing, working hard.
Yeah.
And glad to be back.
Well, I'm glad you're back. I love Ink Master and everything about Ink Master, but having that seat on the judge's desk is so much better with you there.
Same to you.
You're the coolest, dude.
I mean, you're one of my best friends, and I'm glad to share that panel with you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want anybody up there, doing it with me other than you.
All right, well, now it's time to actually get into the ink. Here's your official spoiler alert.
Today, there is no flash challenge.
All right, let's get it.
Get straight to it.
We are moving directly into the next elimination tattoo. Yes.
The contestants are being judged on ingenuity today because they must tattoo over a scar. Scars can be so painful.
Yeah.
Or numb. They could be super textured, tough skin.
Or thin.
Or thin.
Yeah.
Scar tissue and scarred skin is always the novelty, miscellaneous type you're gonna get. And you need to have so much ingenuity to even begin a design to go over a scar, because you need to understand the parameters of what that skin is gonna do before you attempt to just slap something over it.
Of course, yeah. I mean, you're working with a pre-existing shape that you have to cover, or like you said, texture. Some scars are super thin. Older skin or older canvases, you lose elasticity. It's almost like cellophane on the top of a steak or something, and the ink can easily get in between that top layer and the muscle and just blow out. So you really got to know the skin you're working with.
So I know what you've been up to, but the rest of the world may not. So let's talk about your new shop. Let's talk about who you have working in there with you. Let's talk about you for a sec.
Awesome shop. We're coming up on 2 years of being open. Before this, I was at the same shop for 17 years, you know that.
Yeah.
So having my own shop now, I have a partner, my buddy Brett. We've been friends for over 15 years, and a good partner to have, but we got the heaviest hitters at the shop. I mean, we got Bobby, who won 2 seasons ago. We have my partner Brett, an artist named Levi Murphy, who is one of the best at what he does too. We might be having Freddie full-time now, so it's gonna be a crazy shop.
You're gonna have Bobby and Freddie together in your shop.
Yeah, so it's super inspiring.
I mean, after 20 years and pretty much hitting that mastery level of every style, what kind of tattoos do you do nowadays that actually inspire you a little bit?
My last finale piece, season 14, I think that kind of turned my style into this, like mixing this cartoony stuff with this black and gray realism, and people are really liking it, and it's really fun to do. It brings my love of both sides of the spectrum, brings them together, and it's really fun. Trying to think of new creative ways to do it gets pretty tricky, or you get the client that has too much input to where it's like, maybe that stuff's not gonna look good together. But when I get to just create on my own and put those two styles together, that's what I have the most fun with.
It's collaging.
Yeah, it's
permanent collaging.
Yeah.
I think every season we find fun things to do creatively. Last season we tattooed matching hot dogs on one another.
Yep.
Bros for life. This season we made T-shirt shop.
We went hard this season. 80% of the clothes that I wear on this season I made.
We'd get there early to the studio and go into the boardroom that was our T-shirt shop.
Yep.
And you'd be sewing the outfit you're wearing that day, being like, how much time do I have? 10 minutes? Okay, I'm gonna sew this on the cuff.
Yeah, finale outfit, the whole nine.
You'd be trying to get the paint to dry on your hoodie before you put it on. Is this one of yours? It is. You made this.
Yes.
We're not ready to talk about the secret project yet?
It's a kind of a bit of a secret, but yes, big things to come. It's hard working on a clothing line, especially like a cut and sew one, but it's in the works as we speak, and it's a lot to do.
I'm sure.
More than I ever expected.
You are obviously Ink Master royalty. No one's won 3 times, and you just come in swinging every time. How about we take a closer look at some of the work you've been doing outside of the competition?
All right.
Your stuff.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay, so
This is actually on my cousin's husband. He's been a firefighter for 15 years, went through so much trauma in his life. This was definitely not what he approached me with. I'll tell you that much. I think it was supposed to be a hawk at first. And I was like, let's not do a hawk. Let's really like think about your journey and how I can like portray these elements in a cool way and make a cool piece of art. So this is what came out. It's kind of this dark cloud escaping from himself, but not himself.
a tattoo like this in particular, this is my favorite type of art that you do that exudes out of you because it's so unique and different and it's bold. And when I see this is, I feel, a direct rendering of what is going on inside of your brain.
This is the style I have the most fun with.
Yeah.
You could just get creative.
Let's look at the next one. Well, since you are our resident Tiger King,
Definitely do a lot of tigers.
you do them fast, you do them efficiently, you do them perfectly.
I fixed one on you.
You fixed my tiger that's this big on my whole side in 2 hours using no reference. That's for real. He did a realistic tiger on my whole hip with not a photo to look at. That's insane.
It's more unique.
Hell
It's
yeah.
a more unique way to do realism.
Every time.
Yeah.
Even in the way you're doing it here, I mean, it's a beautiful, striking, classic tiger, but you framed it so cool with this tratty snake. So it changes the whole look of it.
So this was, the canvas's idea to mix these two styles and simple subject matters, but you gotta make it work.
Yeah, no, totally. Well, we're going to dive deeper into Ink Master, but first, let's take a look at this episode's skull picks. We're going to watch and react to some of these requests.
I'm looking to get the scar on my leg from an infected dog bite covered up with cogs and gears.
By far the hardest one.
Not just in the competition, that's one of the gnarliest scar cover-ups on a canvas I personally have seen.
Oh, same. I mean, that was a lot of tissue taken away. It was in a difficult area. And there was also a tattoo surrounding this whole area. So now you can't really do your own thing with it. You got to try to work with what's there and make it cohesive or just go together and hide this crazy scar.
It's definitely some of the most difficult skin that I've seen. And this one was almost more of a flash challenge than a tattoo challenge because you have to have ingenuity to figure out how to transform that so that the first thing you see isn't the scar and it's the art itself.
This is one of those things, I love helping people outside of the competition or get an email from somebody saying they want this scar covered, but you kind of might have to let this one go outside of the competition and really say, can I cover this or is this even possible?
I have some scars from getting flesh-eating disease. I'm looking to get those covered with a psychotic clown.
This scar was a big one.
He was a big guy too, and
Big.
it wasn't just that one down the center. There was also one on the side that you couldn't really tell when we were there. People are like, yo, what's the most painful spot you've gotten tattooed? I'm like, lower stomach.
Belly. Oh.
I mean, I heard this one, I thought it was cool. Whoever was getting this could have some fun with it.
I mean, I love this idea. The size and everything is intimidating though.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm looking to get my, preventative double mastectomy scars covered on my chest with roses, carnations, and butterflies.
We got your back. We here for you.
I mean, this is a tough one all around, I'm sure it's tough for the canvas. And now you get into that predicament. Do I have to work on both sides? Am I just creating some little thing to cover the scars? Are we going big? Ideally, you'd want to do a whole chest or something really cool. And doing something in this amount of time, it's hard in the competition.
I mean, I've done a decent amount of mastectomy cover-ups and tattoos, and I usually spend one full day on each side because that area, it's large. That's a big area of the body, and you want to make sure that you're really putting in the time and the care to give the canvas an incredible experience and an incredible tattoo. And so this one was rough if both sides were expected to be entirely finished.
And also, this is one of those things, I mean, every tattoo you want to come out perfect and really impress the canvas, but this is one where you're like, this is a really traumatic experience. This has to be it.
Because most people get tattoos to remember something, to commemorate something, to celebrate something. Scar cover-ups are tattoos that you do where you're trying to change somebody's perspective on something that happened to them. So really you're trying to change the memory and the association to that memory.
Turning that negative to a positive.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to do. We always on set talk about which ones we would pick.
Yeah.
Which one of these would you have picked if you had the choice?
I think I would have chosen the big belly flesh-eating.
Matt's?
Yeah, I would have kept it the clown too. I would have just done some crazy clown. But I think he has a nice round tight belly and
my
it's
God.
pretty easy to ask.
Easy for you, three-time winner. I would be so...
What would you have took?
In terms of subject and everything, I would have chosen the mastectomy, but the double, for me, wouldn't be possible.
Couldn't happen. Yeah.
It just couldn't happen. But I'm most comfortable with that type of scarring and that type of situation, and I feel a personal, strong connection to women that unfortunately have to go through that situation, and it's always an honor for me to get the privilege to help them overcome that.
For sure.
Yeah. Let's take a look at this episode's art. This is K.I.'s dragon, obviously, but remember it was originally supposed to be a bear ripping through.
Yeah.
I think he did great, though.
Fits his canvas's chest really well. You could add on the rest of the body or do something cool with it later. I think it's great, super clean. It was one of my favorite of his tattoos all season.
I agree.
And the scar is gone.
It's gone. And when we saw this, I mean, it was a dark, thick line down the center of this canvas's chest.
Well, I think what helped him with it is that the scar wasn't completely centered. It was a little bit off, so it could fall in those dark areas, nostril, where the brow line meets the nose and stuff like that. So,
I mean, great.
Did good.
Amazing. Kyra came out swinging with this tattoo.
Yeah, texture, light, shadow, placement. It was just a good tattoo.
I really think the most important thing with these mastectomy tattoos is to let them compositionally fit the body in a flowing, feminine, soft way. And so the way that Kyra ended this in this beautiful swoop with just a few of the leaves sticking out and peeking out, it's just so lovely, man. She made so many good choices in this.
Yeah.
Oh, Lucas Skunk, what do you think?
I liked it. With a lot of Lucas stuff, I feel like he would always wish he had a little bit more time with this style, but super cute, a lot of good texture in there.
Yeah.
I would never know there's a scar here if I was just to look at this tattoo, but it's a great tattoo.
Cool.
Yeah, Luca's really good.
Luca's great. Whoa, Matt's tattoo. Dude.
Super sick.
It's crazy. Look at the area, the size of that thing.
Yeah, I like seeing tattoos that I would want on myself too. I'm like, I would take this. This is a tough tattoo. It's big, it's bold. Also could be added onto in the future.
Yeah.
You could have a big scythe.
Just
skeleton. You could do a lot of cool stuff with this. But it's huge. Matte tattoo's really fast. You can see a little bit of the scar next to the belly button, but I think for the crazy size and how dynamic this tattoo is, your eye does not go to that scar.
Well, also the way that he formed the flame sort of around that scar and all of the lines going in the same direction that scar is going in, it camouflages it. Because it's just going to look like another direction going in, and you don't notice it at first.
But this guy was big.
I remember seeing the stencil, holding it up like this, like it was wallpaper.
Yeah.
It was like large.
Huge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was great. Okay, what about Seth's wolf?
Covered the scar, great. I can't see the scar at all.
I would
This is another one that I would never know there's a scar there.
Know there was a scar
unless you told me.
Yeah.
Same thing, could be a little bit more dynamic drawing. It is a bit confusing where that paw or claw is coming from, but super solid, clean tattoo. We know Seth's a technician and he does great, solid, clean tattoos.
I just wish he had another ear.
Definitely.
He's stuck in there.
It's a bit confusing.
All right, so this is Ishnard's tattoo.
He covered the scar really well. I think that was the hardest ask, and he made it happen, he made it work, and he totally changed this woman's life for the better.
And I will say, too, looking at not just these photos, but seeing the canvas in person and everything, the first thing I think and react to is the art in the tattoo. The scar comes after that, right? And so if the first thing you acknowledge when looking at this canvas's leg is the artwork that's on it, it's already successful.
I mean,
you're no longer focused on that scar.
Yeah, if this just came up and I knew nothing about any of the challenge or anything, I would have to search in there for that scar.
Yeah, same. So good job. I mean, great job. Okay, Boucher's Phoenix. How do you feel about this?
I think it's a really smooth and clean tattoo. It could be a little more dynamic of a pose or something. You're taking this, phoenix, strong bird rising from the ashes, and it could have just had a more dynamic, fierce pose to it.
Yeah, I agree.
But as far as covering the scar, it's gone. I would never know there's a scar in here.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And I think he did good.
Yeah. Great cover up. The tattoos are ranked, and Kyra and Matt are tied at the top. In the bottom three are Ishnard, Boucher, and Seth. In a surprise twist, We learned that each contestant in the bottom 3 will write down one subject, and all 3 of those things must be incorporated into one tattoo. We've got a lady face, a chrysanthemum, and a skull. Let's take a look at what they came up with. Obviously, this is a super unique design by Ishnard. What is going on here?
I always like things I haven't seen. If I'm like,
Me
oh
too.
man, this is different, it's new. The way he renders this stuff, he's a great tattooer. And the fact that he can sit down and draw this stuff is really cool. He's a great tattooer, and this thing it's cool.
For me, this is absolutely one of my favorite tattoos done in the entire season. Like, top few tattoos, this is definitely one of my favorites overall. And it took Ishnard getting in the bottom and having to do this face-off for him to, you know, really with his back up against the wall, come out fighting with creativity like this. It's just rad.
I think it's one of my favorites too.
Yeah, for sure. This was Seth's face-off tattoo.
Seth's is cool. You know, besides the skull, we really liked when he did this. It was kind of innovative, and you know, that skull by itself and this cool, like almost vibrating line look was almost a new style or genre of tattooing in itself. So that was cool to see. But this is a little bit more of what I thought I was gonna see when I heard lady face, skull,
right?
You know, chrysanthemums. But Seth's is great.
I just know that we've all seen that Seth is an incredible technician. I mean, he puts really clean, solid tattoos in the skin. Where he's always struggled is creativity, originality, all those things. This day, I watched Seth turn a corner and figure something out in his brain where he unlocked a new door. I think this tattoo sparked something in Seth. I think this was the moment that his creative juices actually kind of started flowing. And last but not least, we have Boucher's Skull Fortune Teller.
Definitely Boucher's best tattoo all season. It's nothing really you really haven't seen, but I think he did really good on this one.
It's a good tattoo. I just have also watched Boucher do some tattoos in this competition where I've been like, holy shit, like you really know what you're good at. Like he's laid in some buttery, cool tattoos. And so this one to me it's a good tattoo.
But creatively, it doesn't impress you,
It doesn't.
Yeah, it's something we've seen 100 million times. Yeah.
And it's done nicely, but not nice enough, in my opinion, to keep him there, right?
Yeah, I mean, he held his own for far into the competition.
Yeah.
He kept us watching him all season. To go out on this tattoo, I think there's, in this competition, been a lot worse tattoos to go out on. I think it's a good tattoo. I think it just didn't hold up creatively against the other two.
And he's hilarious.
Yeah, he's funny.
Boucher lit up the room.
And usually you think those people are going home first. You're like, oh, this dude's, he's gone this episode. And then you're like, okay, you're holding your own. So
I mean, how many days did he put a smile on everyone's face?
he kept it fun, for sure.
Boucher, you do not have what it takes to be Ink Master.
Yeah, you should have emailed me that. You ain't have to say that in front of my friends.
Leave my picture up there, I got something to say. Damn, that look good. I'm proud as hell. Where I come from, I promise you don't make it out of there. And the fact that I even beat that, and I'm here, I'm in the middle of the ocean with sharks, and I made it to the top 7, you can't tell me I ain't win.
We are going to revisit a prior season for our segment, Ink ReMastered. Let's take a look at a tattoo that had one of our former contestants in the bottom and give them a chance to do it all over. Today, we have our friend Jason Elliot from season 10. Let's take a look. Hades tattoo.
I'm not feeling crazy confident, but I know that I'm really good at color. So the best thing I can do is just make sure that my tattoo is technically sound.
Jason's is weird, but I like it.
I like it too.
It's clean.
It is clean. It's
No, today's proportion.
Yeah. Eyes that are drawn, he made it up. You can't say those are right.
Jason.
There's not a whole lot of realistic proportion for us to judge in this tattoo.
You have a lot of issues with your outline. It's just wavering in thickness, not solid.
When we were trying to communicate, you just shut off. I think some of that energy came into play on this tattoo.
Jason, today the technical application puts you down here. A lot of complications in this thing.
I'd let it get to me. There's definitely a hard line between how much creativity can you put in there versus how much challenge do you need to meet.
This is the stuff that I tried to really bring home and stress.
Look at this. This looks like Hades grew up a little bit, huh?
Definitely aged. That's how it feels me watching myself this season too.
Well, you won this season, so you were there for this original tattoo.
This is 100 times better than his other one.
It's not even done yet, and we can tell it's 100 times better. Even the shape of it, how it's framed. Yeah!
Yeah, this one has feeling, gives you a feeling when you look at it.
Oh my God, look at the side-by-side. It's like watching somebody go from junior varsity to varsity.
Yeah,
like
it's crazy.
Watching it grow up. It's great.
I like this style. I like mixing, you know, black and gray and color. I think this looks really cool. This color palette on the first one, just red and blue together, is kind of just...
The first one reminds me almost of like, you know, logo for some sort of business down by the ocean, and the second one is like metal.
Well, this,
like
the second one's, it's striking. You picture these mythological gods and stuff like that, you want it to have some sort of
weight,
feeling to it when you look at it. That first one just, it almost looks like, you know, that beard's got a rubber band going around the back, and it's not even real, you know?
It's just from like the costume shop?
Yeah, it's like the gumball machine mustache, you know, that sticks on your face. So yeah, second one, this is night and day. If you told me same artist did these, I wouldn't believe you, but that's how much you can get better in just not that many years of keep pushing yourself.
It's incredible. All right, well, before we let you off the hook here, I'm gonna have you give your State of the Tattoo Union address on AI. As we know, AI in the, not just the tattoo world, in the art world is extremely controversial because there are multiple generating bots where if you just type in exactly what it is you want, it'll generate that image in that style in seconds.
It's crazy too, it could be anything.
Anything.
Could be anything
you type.
Yeah, a squirrel eating ramen with, you know, a bunch of other angry squirrels around. I mean, you name it.
In a purple dress with...
In this style.
In the
comic
style.
book style with, I mean...
You can even say, in the style of...
anything.
Name an artist, and it'll make it look like it's painted by that artist. It's in 60 seconds or less. That's insane.
I use AI. I use AI for my realism. I think it's the coolest thing to come into tattooing for realism. I gotta do tigers all the time. I could see a tattoo of a tiger and be like, oh, that's that tiger from the internet, right? There's 5 angry tigers on
the bear.
You know, at one point,
you know that bear that everyone tattooed?
For sure.
The same one.
Yeah.
You know the one.
Yeah. At one point, I was gonna get a pet tiger and just tease it all the time and take photos of it, so I have different reference. But there's 4 good tigers on the internet, and now, with a push of a button, you know, 3/4 view, realistic tiger, high def, black and white,
Lit from
whatever.
the side,
Now, the more times you push that button, the more it's spitting out perfect photographs of tigers that you just can't get.
They don't exist.
They don't exist.
And now it's like artists no longer need to use reference photos that are taken from someone else's, you know, intellectual property.
It blows my mind.
I think it just needs to be used as a tool and not seen as, you know, the answer. Let it inspire you, not
for sure
take you over.
Yeah, but for realism, it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I use it all the time because if I'm doing a whole chest piece and there's 10 rubies on it and I want to do it, the rubies so realistic, and I could only find one reference of the ruby that I want.
Yeah.
AI can take that reference and show me 10 different lighting effects of the same ruby, so I have something perfect. And then I take those rubies, boop, and put them into my design. And for me, it's been expanding, just like you said, my reference bank. It's allowing me to have more tools to utilize in my own art.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
Well, it's always a pleasure spending time with you. I love you. I'm so happy to judge next to you.
Love you too.
How about you tell the rest of the world what to look for next from you? What's coming up?
You know, gonna eventually launch this big clothing line. As far as where you can find me, DJ Tambe on Instagram, and you can also follow my shop, One Block LV on Instagram, and that's where I'm at. Spend majority of my life working.
Yeah, you're there with Bobby, you're there with Freddie, everyone fun to hang out with.
Just come down.
I'm
I've
coming.
invited you 7 million times.
I know, I'm coming. I'm gonna come to Vegas and tattoo, I will.
All right.
That's it for No More Ink, because I'm gonna go hang out with DJ. Don't forget to watch this season of Ink Master Hometown Heroes on Paramount Plus, and don't forget to subscribe to the Ink Master YouTube channel for everything Ink Master. Woo!